Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Apex Investor. See that? It's like the meme. It's like the Wall Street bets guy. Okay, welcome back to Apex Investor. What a day we had today. Let's just get right into it. Number one on the volume chart is DRNK, or as I call it, Drink. NoHo Incorporated, over 4 billion today of volume. And that's a story there. Now let's look at FinViz. Okay, yesterday's loser, GTT Communications, that hit an all-time low or a 52-week low, a new low yesterday at around, what was it, it was at 204 around there today. So if you picked it up at 204, congratulations. And it went right up to 244. So you can see this is somewhat volatile for like a penny stock. You could make a good, 40 cents, 30 cents. If you pick up enough shares, you could make a little bit of money. But anyway, let's look at the biggest loser today. Okay, so at finviz.com, looking at the new low, looking on our screener, we had no bites today, so no fish. We went fishing and nothing came up. Let's look at the meme stocks. Today was a huge day for both AMC and especially GameStop. Wow, like that was really something. Okay, let's look at these stocks today. See who got the highest volume. Oh, before I continue, I am not a financial advisor. That's true, I'm not. I don't have those qualifications. And this is not financial advice. I'm simply a regular person that has good instincts. And before we make a trade, we should always ask ourselves, what would Warren Buffett do? Would you like to own this company even during a stock market crash? Would you own whatever stock slash company? Again, we don't think of it as owning stocks. We think of it as owning companies. Would you be comfortable owning this company, whatever company you're investing in, for the next 10 years? Think of it that way and then reevaluate, am I making the right decision? And then when you answer that question to yourself, then you can make your decision whether to buy the stock or not. So let's look at these winners and losers. UVXY was up 23%. Oh, I don't have any holdings in that. I think I sold them off. Yeah, I did. Okay. um, and they had 256 million volume. Wow. EHang, I sold my shares in that. I just sold off a lot of my shares because I'm loading up for the squeeze coming potentially tomorrow for both GameStop and AMC. But I think GameStop is the one that's going to take off astronomically, where AMC will, in its own way, have a squeeze. The infinity squeeze, the short squeeze, the gamma squeeze. It's going to be a squeeze, regardless of what you think of it. So keep on moving down the line. Palantir, 161 million volume today. That's pretty good, but it was down about 9%. SOS, 104 million volume, but was it down 20%? Okay, here we starting with the meme stocks coming up. I feel like we're getting closer to them. This list gets bigger and bigger, these meme stocks, or all the stocks I added since GameStop exploded. CTRM, 95 million volume. I kept my shares there. I said to myself, yeah, this company has a lot of potential, so I'm not going to give up on them. And it was Trey's Trades who Trey did suggest it to us, the viewers, and I trust him. I trust that he knows what he's talking about. So we'll see if it pays off for both me and him. Because if I make $1,000 off the stocks he suggested, I promised I will buy a T-shirt. I'm going to support his channel by buying him some merchandise. Okay. So big up, Trey's Trades. Please subscribe to Trey's Trades. Shout out to him. And Quick Fingers Luke, shout out to him always. Without him, I really wouldn't know what I'm doing as much. I wouldn't know as much. I still have good instincts, but I wouldn't be able to analyze a chart for the life of me. Okay, what's next? Billion for the Earth, over a billion today. Wow, and HCMC over 3 billion, but they're down about 10%. Not too much, but I feel like something big is coming for them uh, before next month with this lawsuit with Philip Morris. Cost is up 16%. They had a good amount of volume today, 38 million. American Airlines had a pretty good amount of volume too, 65 million, but they were down at the close of the trading day. Naked, 158 million, was down 15%. Sundial, I kept my shares, 391 million. I feel like they have a lot of room for growth. They could quadruple. They did go to $4 at one point, so I expect that could happen again, even despite a looming crash, stock market crash. Nokia, pretty good volume as well. They're up just a slight bit, quarter of a percentage. AMC, 439 million volume. This is back in form. They're back in their normal form. Uh, Almost half a billion. That is just exceptional. But they did go up to $11 at the start of the session. They did end up dipping a little bit, but then went back up to about $10 and over that for a good while, but ended up down 8.8% at the end of the normal trading hours. But I'm overall, well, I'm still a little bit down, but we'll get into the squeeze very soon. BlackBerry had a decent amount of volume, not crazy, but sorry, not BlackBerry, it's Bed Bath and Beyond. BlackBerry had a lot of volume, 45 million, and if you bought them at $9 or $10, you're sitting pretty good. BlackBerry still has a lot of room to go up. They can go back to 20 like they did before, and that's even without the short squeezing and without the memes. It's just a good company. They're very underappreciated. And now to the king, the Bitcoin of the stock market. The king has returned to take his crown. GameStop, GME, 147 million volume today. Back in form and was up almost $200 today. I saw it around 180 something, and they're up overall at the close of the trading session, 18.56%. So that is monumental. Very good sign for us holders here. Let's look at AMC first. So AMC after hours is 749. Uh, it'll be interesting to see what the pre-market does, but we have a lot of options expiring today in the millions. So this could shoot up astronomically. We could see it hit double digits pretty easily. It's hard to predict where this will go. It could go to 16, could go to 20, could go beyond that, but we'll see depending on the volume. It really needs volume in order to um, move up, to increase, and for buyers to hold and not to sell. So tomorrow will be a huge day. You could see there the day's range, 785 to $11. So we could see it. We could see the squeeze potentially happen tomorrow, anytime tomorrow, or even on Monday or sometime next week. But this is happening because all the options, a lot of options are expiring tomorrow. As it relates to GameStop and AMC, it's going to be very interesting. AMC is the most held stock in the stock market. I think there's almost uh, no shares to buy anymore. I think they're running out. So utilization is the word I'm looking for, is reaching very close to maximum, to 100% utilization. But we'll see if the numbers reflect that tomorrow, or if it's just all speculation. Now going to GameStop, the king of the stock market, I like to call it, only down 106. I was tracking it a little bit after the close of trading. It was trading between 90 in the low 90s. I'd say just to be safe, 94. But I did see it hit 90 for a while. It was in the 90s up to, well, 106. So since after hours trading has since closed, pre market will start at 4 a.m. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But AMC was up at its peak about, I'd say, maybe 10% or so, but GameStop was up almost 100% today when it reached the peak of $184 today. So I believe trading was halted multiple times today, at least 2-3 times, and it was halted the previous day when it started going up to 100, and that was pre-planned. I heard in the forums that they had planned that to bring it up that much towards the end of the trading day in order for the post market, the after hours, to really bring the price up, and it did almost another 100%. If you noticed, it went up to almost 100 at the close of yesterday, and then went up almost to 200 after hours, and then today we could see it held pretty strong. It almost went to 200 again, and we'll see what happens if the squeeze occurs tomorrow. We will know. Obviously, it'll hit 200 and then 300 and maybe back to 400, 500 unless they halt trading again. But they can only do that so many times because when those options expire, the hedge funds will have to pay. They will have to pay up to cover their shares, to cover their shorts. That is just a must. They have to do it. There's no There's they have no choice. So it's going to be interesting to see how the options will affect the price, as well as uh, the shorts, the hedge funds having to cover their losses. So let's now look at Wall Street bets. There's a lot going on there. Wall Street bets, and then WSBets.win and GME. So we'll look at those three, and we'll close out the video, and I'll talk about some thoughts I had regarding the looming stock market crash that may be happening very soon. It could happen this month or possibly next month. And if not within the next 2 months, then it's going to happen most likely in the fall, August, September. That's just a hunch I have. Again, just a regular person with pretty good instincts. Okay. I'm gonna have to take off my glasses for these. I can't really see the posts. All right, just a little. Let me pause it and scan so I don't waste people's time. All right, this post is worth reading. Just a little advice from a billionaire. If you still believe in the reason you bought the stock, and that hasn't changed, why sell? This is, I believe it's Mark Cuban. Yeah, oh, it says there, M. Cuban. So I remember that interview he did, the AMA he did with Wall Street Bets, and he said regarding the shorts, hedge funds, their goal is to never cover their short, but that would take the company going out of business or being delisted. That won't. Just got hit in the head by my background. I'm just going to keep going. That won't happen here. Best thing you can do is hold onto the stock and do business with GameStop. Okay, so they want to get GameStop delisted. That's not going to happen. So the best thing we could do in order to prevent that from happening is to hold our stocks, diamond hands. If everyone goes to their website and buys from them, GameStop, that is going to help the company, which will help the stock, which will help everyone here. If you still believe in the reason you bought the stock and that hasn't changed, why sell? And he's right. Okay, I'm going to pause it. I got to read this one. I don't need Fox Business to hold me accountable, but I'll take it. The Fox Business posted what someone here on Wall Street Bet said, that he will tattoo the Wall Street Bets logo, the kid with the glasses on my right butt cheek if we get GME to 1,000. So you got to show it to us. You got to show. I don't want to see your butt cheek. I just want to see the tattoo. Got to do it. I tried to quickly buy 50,000 worth of GME before close, but fat fingered and ended up buying GMED. I almost did that too. I almost bought GMED as well. Oh no! Does that mean what's going to happen? Oh, GME previous behavior is identical to what is going on now. Okay, just a friendly reminder: the GameStop did dip because of the same flooding of shorted borrowed stocks. January 25th. I should open that new tab. That's pretty interesting. Actually, a lot of good content has returned with the return of the king. First days, first 2 days of the first squeeze versus the last 2 days. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. Woo. Wow. I didn't even realize that. That's true. That is so true. We had a smaller uh, build up the first squeeze. So this one coming up could be, like they're saying, $1,000 or more. Because once it reaches at $800, it's going to be out of control. They won't be able to keep it contained from that point. Oh, nice shirts. Good shirts. He's got his buddy there, either his kid or his friend. America meet GameStop. We're not effing leaving for life. What? This is a real commercial? America meet GameStop. Okay. No, this is a music video from Macklemore, isn't it? Okay, whatever. That's a meme. Wall Street Bets versus Wall Street. Short squeeze round two. His father passed away. Rest in peace to your father. My condolences. Let's do this for Alex. AMC and GameStop to the moon. A friend of his passed away, so there's some obituaries here. Decided to sell my other stocks. That's what I did today. I sold a lot of my other stocks, including Vaxart, and they were up. So I said, okay, let me sell it because I feel like Vaxart still needs some time to mature. So let's put everything into GameStop and AMC. That's what I'm doing because this is happening. And if it doesn't happen, we're going to make it happen. Put 90K into GME this morning. Okay. So I'm going to do, yeah, I'm buying some this morning. When it dips at 9 to 10 o'clock, once it dips a little bit, because it pretty much without fail dips. That's just the way it goes. So we'll see how that turns out for all of us because squeeze is happening. If not tomorrow, then Monday. It's going to happen. All right. All right. Short stock doesn't have an expiration date. Let's look at that. CNBC is finally starting to get it. Don't bet against GameStop. That lady from Ghostbusters, she's actually funny though. Like I find her, she's not only attractive, she's funny. But anyway, Ghostbusters was a dumpster fire. Tattoo artist watching the price of GameStop rocket, and I saw this earlier. It was really funny. Okay. Oh, nice. All right. I don't support tattoos, but good job for supporting Wall Street Bets. They're selling millions of shares from ETFs. Okay, I think I read this already before, but yeah, they are hiding the GameStop shares in multiple ETFs, not just XRT, there's multiple. So that's what they're doing, and they can only do that for so long until it just doesn't work anymore. They just can't short ladder anymore. Why the dip is good? I guess I look at that too. Melvin and Vlad are in cahoots. Yeah. And yeah, okay. Looks like GameStop high of 403, according to NASDAQ. Wait, how? How is that? I don't understand. We didn't go to 403. How is that even possible? Let me pause the video, the recording. Jim Cramer is the enemy of the people. Do not listen to anything he says. He's completely against us, against Wall Street Bets, against this movement. He is a shill for the hedge funds and the shorts. He should be arrested. He really should. GameStop is what separated the men from the boys. Yep. And I think that's it. Oh, short sellers lost $818 million yesterday, according to Reuters. And yeah, that's what happens. Okay, I'm going to go to WS Bets. That went. And we'll just load these tabs that have been loading now. So just a little advice from a billionaire. I think I opened this already, but let's look at the comments. Yep, I like gaming. And just something off topic a little bit. Well, it is off topic. I stopped eating sugar this week. And I recommend that if you're addicted to sugar, you eat products made of sugar or that contain sugar, you might want to think of refraining from sugar. There's a lot of research that talks about how sugar can cloud our mind and our judgment. So just evaluating my decisions this week in terms of trading, my trading has been superior being off sugar. I'm a lot more calm. I'm not panic buying or anything like that. So it's really good. That's what I suggest. GameStop previous behavior is identical to what is going on now. So just a friendly reminder, GameStop did dip because of the same flooding of shorted borrowed stocks. January 25th, open 96.73, high 159. The low 61, closed at 76. January 26th, open at 88, high 150. It's kind of like the weather a little bit. Closed at 147. So notice that the highs and the lows and the closing. January 27th, here we go. 354. You can never know when it happens. 388. Low of 249. Closed at 347. They sold over zero point 0.5 MIO, shorted stocks and borrowed a ton. Calm your butts down and hold and buy. Hey, free money. Do not forget tons of Euro boys are getting paid tomorrow. Really. Edit 2. You can find all of this yourself in NASDAQ. It is public information. Wouldn't have thought this edit was needed. Don't message me. Okay. Bring this to the top. Remind the paper hands to trade it in for diamonds. So if we look at how we closed today, we closed over $100. Um, and we had a high of 180. So in comparison, we're actually doing better, I think. So let's look at the next tab, the next post here. Please read why the dip is good. So definitely look at that. I should pause because it's wasting time. I don't want to waste people's time. Here's some info from the NASDAQ. GameStop high of 403, according to NASDAQ. Yes, there was an order filled that was for $400 in after hours. It was 15K volume on the minute. Wait, what? For real? Why didn't my sell orders go for 350? Well, you know what? They probably sold themselves short because this could go again to 1,000. So they sold half of what it's worth. If you're looking at it that way. So don't feel left out because they probably sold themselves short. If the short squeeze happens tomorrow and is as big as we're anticipating, or are not just speculating, but are the way the data is showing it to look, they sold for a lot less than they could have received it at 1,000. So there you go. Today's high 403, 52-week low. Okay, so there you go. And that happened the 25th and after hours time. So we'll close that. And please read GameStop Why the Dip is Good. I have to pause this again. So this post is from 6 hours ago. Okay, look, idiots, I'm no genius. In fact, I'm an ape. But this drop from 170 or 180 to 100-ish is not all bad. Too long didn't read at the bottom. This is why. We are still up huge from the close of yesterday. Yep. Number two, the short sellers just on Wednesday lost a total of 818 million. This might leave us with no large increases until Monday, until capital can be raised to cover. Okay, so it might happen on Monday. We know from the past that without capital, there won't be any short letter attacks or ladder attacks. The hedge funds will be forced to pay interest on those positions if they don't cover them, like I said earlier, and there will be a continuation of a squeeze if we hold. So that's why I didn't sell. I'm only looking to buy, not sell, until we reach the squeeze of 10,000 plus. We'll see where it goes, but it's definitely going to 1,000 at this point. Other shorted stocks have a good chance at rising too, such as AMC. Remember, GME is the big whale, the Bitcoin, while other shorts like AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry are more like fishes, and I'd say AMC is like the silver. Nokia and BlackBerry could be like the bronze, I suppose. So while hedge funds gather capital to cover shorts on GameStop, they will have to pay big bucks on interest with the other smaller stocks as well. And AMC is the most held stock in stock market history right now, current day. So too long, don't read, didn't read, don't panic because you see a drop right now. There's a good chance that it's because of limited capital from hedge funds because of Wednesday's crash, leading to no money to cover shorts. This means hedge funds will be forced to pay interest on the positions they still have and will lead to a bigger squeeze in the next few days. Hold the line. By the time you are done writing, it's 120, deep discount. Yeah. I think a lot of us are looking to buy at $100 or less. We'll see what happens. Okay. Short stock does not have an expiration date. Hedge fund shills are spreading disinformation saying $800 is make or break for GME. Call options expiring. ITM on Friday will drive the price up if levels are maintained, but may not trigger the short squeeze. It may be Friday, but it could be the next week that we will see the real squeeze. And that's why I just said earlier, don't panic if the squeeze doesn't happen tomorrow or doesn't happen. It's not guaranteed to happen. The only thing that is guaranteed mathematically is that these shorts will have to cover at some point in the future. They're trying to get enough people hooked on the false expectation of Friday so that if or when it doesn't happen, enough people will sell out of panic slash despair. Imagine if you sold earlier this week at $40. Good point. We can stay redarted longer than you can stay solvent. And the best part of shorters is they got two issues. The price goes too high, they get margin called, uh, or they lose money on the interest every day. So we can stay redarted longer than they can stay solvent. So that's all for Reddit. We'll look at Win, where they have a lot more posts. Let me pause it and open the good ones. So while these tabs are loading, I just want to say that, yeah, I noticed that in the media too, the mainstream media, the boomer media, they're attacking GameStop and all the Reddit stocks again, AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry, and so on. And they're saying, "Oh, avoid these stocks at all costs," and they're just not trying anymore. It's so obvious that it is an attack on not just the stocks but on us as a movement. They want to put blame on us. So let's look at the first post. If GameStop rockets between 5,000 to 130K a share, I will dye my hair blonde, buy the swag Wall Street Bets outfit. That's not even a good bet. You're not losing anything. Sunglasses, etc. I will dance in the middle of a crowded highway. Okay, that one, yeah, that's crowded. What do you mean, with people or with cars? Hell, I will even get Donald Trump to let me rub his hair. What? You can't do that. Do you know how much security is around that guy? I'll throw money off the side of my yacht like Wolf of Wall Street. Get your super big box of. Okay, that's a big joke. That's not going to happen. What a joker. The mask is slipping. Like, we need to decide what we want to do based on news. You'll be sitting on Earth while we drink whiskey on Pluto. So GameStop surges 141% despite lack of news. Well, we had a lot of news about the CFO and other things, but that was probably the biggest thing. Quick, let's make washed up deadbeat late night relevant host. I don't know. You know what? I don't like Jay Leno. He's not my favorite person in the world. I didn't even like his show, but at one point he was really funny a long time ago when he was doing stand up. I think it was on the Johnny Carson show. He was pretty good there. And it turns out he's actually not that political. He's kind of just neutral, and I respect him for that. So history repeats itself. Okay, yeah, let's look at yeah, wow. Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting shape. I don't know what we're looking at, but I guess it's like a the start of the squeeze and then booga boom. It's like booga boom and then yeah, 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 yeah. So we're looking for the huh. Once it reaches the huh, we're gonna see a little bit of a lull and then boom out of nowhere. That really starts with volume though. I don't know what triggered it, but we'll see what happens. The hedge fund dogs will return to their vomit. Ooh, yeah. Next tab. You better not sell. There's plenty of acres to have on the moon. Okay, right you are. The FED reserve went splody. Stopped trading. 11 trillion out of nowhere. All right, this is to take with a mountain of salt, but let's just look. Behind killing GameStop stock and other meme stocks exposed. GameStop stock and other meme stocks shot through the roof today. That's earlier today, February the 25th, because the FED infinite money hack stopped working. Uh, they pump infinity money into Wall Street banks and hedge funds in order to keep the average American poor. Wow. Okay, interesting. Maybe it's very interesting. The system is called FED Wire, and when it went down, like magic, all the meme stocks started launching to the moon. They are exposed. The word needs to get out. Wow, this is dangerous information. GameStop didn't kill itself. The FED did. And there's sources there. Wow. What if okay, let's go by order here. What if an algorithm controlling a short ladder market scheme was running on the same compute cluster that happened to be tied to managing a banking payment system? What if I said banking payment system went offline? What if said AI algorithm had been lamping a stock down for weeks? What does control theory tell you would happen if you removed a downward pressure in a feedback loop? What happened at 2:30 p.m. Eastern today? Well, that's earlier, not today, but the previous day. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. This is the biggest story of the day, biggest of 2021. Pain is coming. I can't really read this one. Don't just affect meme stocks, affected the whole system. Outage at the FED delays bank wire transfers, affecting crypto exchanges. Also, I'm beginning to believe it wasn't the FED wire that was the problem and was keeping the stocks down. It was the automatic clearinghouse, also known as ACH. Seems this person may know what was up. Helper, if this person is right, they were using an AI algorithm to keep the stock shorted. So basically, the AI went to crap, and as this person suggests, if it relieved the downward pressure on a feedback loop. Wow, that is another level of autism. Man, okay, I'm not gonna read the comments. That's wild. You know what? No comment. We'll see. We'll just watch and wait. I guess. End of the month, shills are here to distract. Okay, I'm gonna save this picture. It looks really nice. Looks like a beautiful painting. That is so beautiful. I'm going to make that my thumbnail. Wow. Might as well just make my background. It's whoever did this painting. I want to give credit to Batcher. Can't read the first name with the M. Batcher. Handshake accounts out here again, pushing AMC and others, distracting from GME. All the best wishes for success, but there's only a GME. You know what? They're like brothers. Don't hate on AMC, and AMC people don't hate on GME. We're all in this together. It's like you use your profits from AMC to buy more GameStop, and maybe vice versa. But it's okay to have two. It's okay. Just don't be all spread out with everything with Nokia and Express and BlackBerry and Bed Bath and Beyond. It's almost too much to balance. So beautiful painting. Good job. We like the stock. Then we got that hat there. Okay, that was pointless. All right. Reminder, option writers have 2 business days to deliver stocks after expiration or buy them. What this means, entities who wrote way out of the money call options. Presumably hedge funds have 2 business days to deliver the stocks to call holders. Once the option expires tomorrow, hedge funds can wait until midweek to buy the necessary shares to deliver. So that could happen mid next week. But if it doesn't happen tomorrow, then most likely by the end of next week. But it's happening very soon, very, very, very soon. Because of this, we may not see a gamma squeeze until mid next week. True, good point. In order to see a gamma squeeze, the price of GameStop needs to stay well above $50 per share. Wow, really? Okay, so I'm going to set my price at 50 then until 4 p.m. tomorrow. So that way it doesn't go below 50. Volume needs to be relatively high tomorrow to avoid ladder attacks. Good point. Good post. We like the stock. Hold on for dear life, you dirty apes. This is not financial advice, and I am indeed a crayon eating Ridart. Okay, it's from last month, but well, it wasn't a repost according to the poster. When GameStop hits 1,000 AMC, will be $40 to $60. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, looking at the ratio of how much each stock is worth, it's looking like AMC could definitely go to at least 40. Yeah, that's realistic. Interesting. Bed Bath and Beyond could go higher. It topped at around 52. Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. But I just don't see the volume there. What will it be when GameStop goes to 10? Oh boy. You troll. Next. GameStop, a good post from Reddit showing the desperation of the hedge funds. I think they're in big trouble. Can you smell the money? They're selling millions of shares from ETFs, and we talked about that already. So let's look at GameStop. Okay, so while this is loading, I have some thoughts about the impending looming stock market crash coming this year. Most likely, if not this month or next month, it's probably going to happen in the fall, August, September sometime. And oh, look at that. I have to relent now. Let's pause again. Okay, interesting quote from Rep Michael San Nicolas from Guam. You materially benefited from it blocking trades you took from your customers in order to minimize the 3 billion from being larger than it probably would have been. Because you wanted to protect your position, you basically took from the shareholders. I hope that at the end of the day, those bag holders get a lot more than just an apology. And I hope those words come true. All right, let me pause again. Oh, sorry about that. It says here, say this with me. 100K is the very bare minimum. I will be selling 20% holdings at 100K and letting the rest ride to 500K. Remember, give them nothing, but take from them everything. Okay, this today's short report. I think there's so many posts about that. This Reddit just hit 121K. Michael Bolton and the community for investors at public.com. No one is selling. You have the opportunity probably for the first and last time in your life. So do not mess it up. If you sell off for a couple of grand, you will regret this for the rest of your life. The hedge funds are digging a hole for themselves right now, so don't pull up the trigger until they are done. Like Churchill said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. $50,000 share short sale and only dropped price to 160. They are desperate. Oh, sorry, 550,000 shares short sale. A very long awaited squeeze confirmation. Let's open that one up. There's a lot of posts at GME. Wow. Option volume has gone through the roof. Why you should ignore the price right now? There is a lot of posts here. Okay. I'm gonna pause and just open them all up. Okay, what this guy posted is very true. The CEO of Interactive Brokers admitted that without buying restrictions, the price of GME would have been in the thousands, and I fully believe that. I really do. Absolutely, if there was no manipulation and halting and all that. A lot of people are getting paid tomorrow. It's nice of them to lower the price for us at the end of the day. If the squeeze had squoze, you wouldn't see quadruple the volume for the day. Hold. Please don't downvote. This is my first post. If GameStop breaks 250, I'll donate 50,000 worth of GameStop items. Wow, that's a bold statement. Okay, I'll let these load, but as they're loading, like I said, I'm going to talk about the looming stock market crash. So that crash could happen as a result of GameStop and AMC. In fact, they might even blame it on all of us in Wall Street bets in this movement that we caused it, but that's not the truth. That's just where it's trending, regardless of whether this is happening or not. So, in regards to the looming crash, there are two things I need to point out. We have a red and green mentality. We've been conditioned to believe that red means stop and green means go. So when we look at a chart, for example, and then we see a lot of green, we're thinking, oh, that's time to buy. We need to rewire our brains and stop thinking that way. When you see red, that's when you should buy. That's the Warren Buffett mentality. That's his approach to to the stock market. So when the crash comes, it's not if, but when, we need to condition our minds to say, okay, green is bad and red is good. Red is where the blood is, and we need to be like private investigators or like a forensic person, in forensics, and we investigate the crime scene. We look at, okay, what's happened here and where's my best entry point. And the best way you can do that to assess your entry point, and this is how you do it. You look at the Dow Jones Industrial Index, and you look at that Dow Jones chart and the 5 year or the maximum, preferably the maximum, and you analyze it the same you would do a stock. So I did that, and this is what I came up with. Um, you can't see it on my screen. Let me look. Let me open it up. On technical difficulties with Weeble, but basically, I looked at the Dow Jones, the chart maximum, and the support, the absolute support in my mind, from what I looked at when I assessed the chart of the Dow Jones when it crashed, hit the bottom in 2003. That was around 7,800 points, and then in again in 2008, uh, October, actually even in January 2009, it went down to 7,000 points. So the support for the Dow Jones is definitely around 7,000 to 8,000. So if you're analyzing this crash and you're taking a look at it and saying, okay, we just dipped from, not dip, or we've gone from 30 32,000 at the absolute peak. I don't know if I'll ever go past that, but we've gone from 32,000 all the way to pre-Trump levels, which was let's see, about under 20,000. So once we go from 30 whatever we're at now to below 20,000, it's on. Obviously, it's going to be very obvious that it's on. Uh, I mean, in March, we went down to 24,000. So look for that first. 24,000 should be the first marker. So set that as the first one. Maybe even 25,000, just to be safe. And then another one for 24,000 and a notification. So you will know that's what the trigger is. And then the next one would be around 17,000 points. And so once you see the 20, now I mentioned this in one of my videos just yesterday. You're going to want to put alerts when when it drops down like 10%, 25%, and so on. So in the case of the looming crash, once it hits that 24,000, 25,000, once it hits 25,000, it started. 24,000 is definitely on, like it's already pretty depressed. But once it hits 17,000, that's the time to start buying. And if it continues to decline from 17,000 all the way to under 10,000 and maybe even to 8,000, that's going to be incredible. It's like 80% drop, pretty much. It's around 70-80% drop if it gets to that point. But 10,000 is going to be a prime buying area. I feel like that is very much in the cards. But 17,000 and below is really when we should be picking up tons of shares. But the closer you can get to 10 and then below 10 is when you want to just go all out. You want to go all out and buy all the stocks you've been wanting to buy. But the ones I mentioned yesterday are the ones that are safest, Amazon and so forth. One I did not mention was Vanguard is a really good one. That's VOO. That one's a very good one. I should have included that in the list of the 10. That is the 11th one. Okay. So once you see that the Dow Jones is going down below 24 and eventually will probably reach 17, that's when you should start really buying a lot. Once you see the 24, 25, 24 points, 24,000 points, I should say, then 17,000 going all the way, possibly to 10 and maybe lower. But 10, you know what, 7,000, 8,000 is really like you're safe to just go all like just go crazy and buy everything. And then from that point, you will then want to hold your shares for about at least 5 to 10 years, and you're going to become a millionaire. I think that's really how you do it. So that's it regarding that. I'm going to read these posts now on GME subreddit. I keep seeing people selling high and buying dips for quick profits. Don't do this if you want to squeeze. So people have been selling at 170, like a little bit of 170, and then buying at 140. Do you understand? The squeeze is so much bigger than that. This literally defeats the point of all the holding that you've been doing for the past month or more. Every time you sell for those quick profits, you give them the shorts shares to cover with for pennies of their worth. Not to mention you're treading dangerous waters with the day trading rules. If you're a believer in the squeeze, stop doing this. Not financial advice, just a man whose hands okay. So anyway, people trying to time a volatile market betting on being left are betting on being left holding the bag plus they're paper handed. Okay. Yeah, I agree. This squeeze will happen, but if they do things like that, it just lowers the potential of just how huge it's going to be. It's still going to happen regardless of what they do, but still they diminish it from being 100,000 to maybe less than that, right? So they really shouldn't do that. They're sabotaging themselves. They are short, not short. They're small picture people, and they're not going to end up millionaires. They don't show the patience to do so. They don't have the mindset. GameStop's previous behavior, we read this before. It's being reposted. Okay. Next. So, very big day today. Very, very big day today for GameStop. Okay. Yeah, we're having some issues with the loading of tabs. Look at this today, short volume 33. Okay, I might have to pause the video because we're having some issues with the loading of tabs. The short squeeze is happening for GME. It's happening. It's inevitable at this point with 33 million not covered. That is astronomical. So the squeeze that's going to happen could make Volkswagen pale in comparison. The 1000 will be nothing compared to what's coming. Wow. I mean, yeah, so what? Porsche bought a certain amount, but when you have so many people and billionaires nonetheless uh, all in, this is going to be very, very dangerous for the shorts. I wouldn't want to be a short right now. I'm telling you that. So comment here says that's over half the floated short today. Yesterday was 12 million, so 45 million short in 2 days. Short interest is through the roof. Wow. Is GMED there? Oh, it is. Look at the short interest there. 72,000. Okay, next tab. Yeah, this is very important. And it's this: stop selling, stop day trading, upvote every stop trading post you see so other apes can see nothing but them. And we need everyone on this board or in this movement to stop uh, doing this in order for the squeeze to work. It's only going to hurt us from getting the maximum possible amount. So it could even stop the squeeze, really. So just don't do that. Don't sell. Do not sell. By no means, do not sell. Have I sold any GameStop? I have not. I've only bought and bought some more and lost more money. So maybe I'm doing this wrong. I don't know. But some people try to average down. Don't let this die in new rising. Okay, yeah, we just read this. So it's being reposted multiple times. Upvote this. Yeah, do not trade. So this is being repeated and repeated. I don't want to be pessimistic or anything. Okay, let me pause it. So it says here, guys, I don't want to be pessimistic or anything, but they are 100% cooking something for us. So if something happens or the price drops to 60 or 40, just remember that no one is selling and it is market manipulation. So be ready. I can't stop and won't stop GameStop. Sorry for hijacking the thread. I'm a long-time lurker and I made an account to spread the word. I don't have enough karma to post. So just like yesterday, the unknown institutions that set up the gamma squeeze, they were waiting until 1 hour before market closes to make their move. And that's what I was mentioned earlier. This is because after hours, the stock won't get automatically halted for increasing too fast. The price after hours will go straight up without being stopped. We closed yesterday at 91.70, but after hours it jumped all the way to 200. Wow, it did, before setting at 173. I think we can expect to see a similar pattern today, and actually it didn't work out that way. But he's got a point. That's a very good point. Hopefully they do that. We see a repeat of that tomorrow. Okay, don't try to day trade. I think we get the point, but yeah, don't do it. I haven't done it. It was tempting, I have to admit, but I didn't do it because I realized this is bigger than just me. And I'm actually hurting myself and everyone else if I try doing that or even do it. I keep seeing people selling high and buying dips for quick profits. Don't do this if you want to squeeze. Seriously, guys, hold. Okay, yeah. So again, it's just repeating that we shouldn't be uh, selling and buying, trying to average down. That's not the way to do the squeeze. It's not. The bigger thing is the squeeze. It's not making a few $100s here, a few thousand there. This is about making millions. Like I keep saying that the stock market crash that is looming will make a lot of millionaires overnight, but this squeeze will do it. It's already made millionaires, but it's going to make a ton more millionaires. Graph time artists, listen up. Even though we ended the day at a gain, while the entire market went boobs up, can I say that? And broke away from the trajectory of AMC, I'll get to that later, I still see complaining. So naturally, it's time for retrofitting of graphs and pillow talk. So grab a banana, take a sip, and just shut up. Here we go. Exhibit A, the short squeeze 0. 0.5, the first rodeo. What do you see? Okay, never mind. I don't have time to wait for you. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing. Before the box, I see a pretty good day, a steady climb. Inside the box, I see a massive ramp up during after hours, a post market or pre market that was trash except for the last 15 minutes, a trading day that ended just below the opening price, and An after hour session where the pajama gang effed themselves with so much grace that even the Queen of England would have given them a high five with the gloves off. Read it again. I know you only skimmed it. And then Exhibit B. Yeah, I'm too tired to wait for you. Um, so before the box, a parabolic rise into after hours. I'm going to be honest with you. I was out in the garage rebuilding a motorcycle engine. Okay. Because I'm an alpha male, so I've totally missed it. All right. So buy the stock and put down the phone. In the box, I see massive, massive green and a test gap of 200, which failed. A pre market that started out like poo but regained steam. Extremely volatile trading day. Uh, an after hour session that disregarded the 100 EMA, which we bounced quite well on in after hours on squeeze zero point 0.5. But as of writing, I can't take screenshots and write at the same time. So what gives? The thing that stands out is number three, the trading session. Why did we get? Why did we poo the bed today? Where are your Lambos? Should be noted, I'm not getting a Lambo because I'm not a 14-year-old virgin. Okay. What gives is Kenny G loaded up on a massive amount of shorts yesterday. They saw that D Day was coming and decided they needed a nuke. They started the day today by going on the offensive with Blitzkrieg as inspiration. 18 million shares short, and throughout the day, they shorted 63 different ETFs containing GME. So they were a lot better prepared because they know that if today would have rhymed with history, January, they would have been screwed since they hopefully don't dare pull another restriction on buying. Oh, yeah, that's the big thing, eh? Other than that, it's business as usual. Hedge funds are still screwed now more than ever. A few paper hands may have sold their funeral, but it won't be enough to make a difference. Don't you forget that the entire market tanked. VIX is up by 35%, which is what happened in January as well. And we've still gained from close yesterday, which means that they are bleeding even more. And notice, in the event of a, not if, but when the stock market crash happens, it's looking like GameStop and AMC won't even be affected because they're in their own universe. I'm not saying that in a metaphorical way. I'm saying it that they really are being targeted unfairly by the hedge funds, and that makes all the difference. It's like the hedge funds, ironically, put a hedge around AMC and GameStop. So whatever happens, it's going to be to the rest of the stock market. It's completely isolated from AMC and GameStop. So actually, your money is safer in these two stocks, which is really strange because they were dooming and glooming on us for the last month that nothing will happen. You know, it's a dead cat and all that. But no, as we can see, it was a sleeping giant the whole time. Other than that, it's business as usual. Yep. Don't you forget. Yeah, I said that already. Now go brush your teeth. Da da da. This is not financial advice. Keep that testosterone. Yep, good advice. It is, however, a few gems of life advice. I hold a big amount of stock at a good cost basis and been doing so for a healthy period of time. You will be able to buy one of my stocks for 69,420 as a courtesy. The rest goes up six digits. I'll be back in the morning with my daily reminder. Edits. The buy sell icons are a trading view add on indicator. I've never sold a single stock of GameStop. I will when my PTs mentioned above are met, which is 69,000. This is a placeholder for the next F up. In all the posts I've read, I never heard anyone refer to that person as Kenny G. I laughed pretty hard. Okay, we got four more tabs and we'll close this video. And again, more repetition of don't sell, just don't sell. It's a very long. Okay, yeah, it's taking a while. I'm going to have to pause again just to save people some time. I don't want to waste people's time with all this loading. Okay, so yeah, I know this sounds like a meme. It sounds like a joke that This will go to not just 1,000, but 10,000, possibly hundreds of thousands. But to be honest, if you look at Volkswagen when it went up to €1,000, this GameStop situation is a lot worse for hedge funds because this will go most likely to not just 1,000, but in the multiples of thousands. It could go to 10,000, could go to 100,000. It's really up to the people to just hold and stay strong and just see where it will go. We have to have a consensus and just to agree that this is the price, 100,000 or a million, whatever it is. Option volume has gone through the roof, but again, it's not so solid. It seems like people have come to a consensus that it is going to be at least 10,000. So, I mean, you might have people panic selling at 1,000 instead of holding on because once they see all the sell orders and the price goes down or whatever, it's going to be interesting to see that there's going to be not just a little, it's going to be a lot of volatility from 1,000 to, I don't know, 2,000 to 900 and back and forth. We'll see how that pans out. Option volume has gone through the roof. Why you should ignore the price right now? This is a very interesting post. Look at the number of shares needed to cover the options of as of 2 p.m. Eastern time. This is only at the February 26th option expiring date. This is more than twice what the option volume was at the end of yesterday. You thought 3 p.m. was crazy? Just wait. They're scared and trying to keep it below $200, but as we saw last night, it won't last. When it hits 200 due to the gamma squeeze, it'll jump again and likely not go back below because they have to cover 2 million more shares. And what happens if it hits 800? 5 million shares to cover. With the crazy action yesterday, we know there are big whales pushing hard on pumping the price. They don't care about temporary dips, and neither should you. This is in addition to the short shares. Price is meaningless until late Friday when the contracts expire. True madness will ensue. Hold on to your britches. So, yeah, this is one of the posts saying only $800, but this is like the first step of many steps that have to be taken. So it doesn't end at $800. It only uh, starts at 200, and then we have to wait, not wait and watch till 800, and then we're waiting to 1,000, and we have to stay strong and not sell because once it hits 1,000, that's where we're really going to see it snowball into 10,000. And after 10,000, if people are still holding, it's going to get to 100,000. And if you're still holding, sky's the limit. Could go to a million. Like it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be legendary. A very long-awaited squeeze confirmation tech. Someone in the discussion thread told me to post this as due diligence. Here it goes. Basically, there's a huge cataclysmic buy signal. I don't know what that means. All the code there. I've been essentially screaming about it like an apocalypse bell ringer, probably at all of you since it started reverting 10 market days ago. And today it happened. Okay, I got to open this picture, see what he's talking about. This link is safe. Thank you. Um, so I can't read it because that's blocking my view. So today it happened and I can't read anymore. How do I get out of here? Exit. Oh man, that is just all right. So that's the picture he shared. Mac Delicious 2.0, EMA 200, and it's looks like above 400. And then we see this graph, histogram over 60. I'm not even sure what this means. I'm just a stupid ape, to be honest. I'm not saying that as a joke. I really mean I don't know what that means. So MACD uses reversion to the mean and momentum, among other things. So it would, in theory, imply to what intensity it is going to reverse, and it will not, and it will do so way more violently. All shorts did by laddering it down was build up immense pressure on top of pre-existing pressure. I swear to you, I watched almost every minute of that histogram. I watched those gray bars build, and I watched the signal and MACD line live. They're stomping on it as hard as they can, but they're really essentially jumping on a shotgun shell till eventually it, you know, see if every paper hand could physically dip their hands in the GME charts right now. The pressure would make them come out diamonds. The MACD does and has shown this and can be a good thing to refer to reassure yourself that the squeeze has not squoze at whatever amount, or even a million, whatever it is. This technical still holds truth and accuracy, in my opinion. Use at your own discretion. It may be a tard. Apparently, that word is banned now, but boy, do I love my indicators. I've also been in some much smaller scale, longer term squeeze plays and VAX from spring to summer 2020, and the long term MACD gave me a near perfect exit. Yeah, and VAX exploded to like 200. You guys probably want to know what's even more exciting about this. Well, let me tell you. People say the MACD is often preceding and predicting uptrends, especially in longer time frame charts. A good check to verify if it's lagging or synchronized or early on in any ticker is to compare price action to previous convergences and divergences. Good thing we have the January spike to use as reference. Good point. And guess what? It was early to the party the first time by a long shot. Wow. If it hadn't been forced by shorts, MACD also shows early force attempts on the red MACD line, it would have kept on at full tilt. Yeah, I thought the same thing. If they didn't halt the trading at 480, it would have went to 1,000 and then 2,000, 3,000, would have been unstoppable. Would have reached 10,000 pretty effortlessly, 1,000, and then just we would have just seen it going up and we just watch it and no one's going to do anything because you're going, how high can it go? How high can it go? Until someone breaks and says, oh, 100,000, I want that. That's my price. So, I mean, we'll see. You can see it. It was only positive by 0.42 in the picture. The most it can move, I've seen even yesterday, is 4 to 5 points. Usually it's less than 1 to 2 a day. The fun doesn't start till 15 plus. Okay, where's this guy getting these charts from? All this simply means is that the actual trend won't figuratively be taking full throttle for another few days, even though we've already gapped up over 100% and will continue to do so. It might look like it has tomorrow, gapped up, but it didn't start. Maybe Monday? No, it probably hasn't. So he's saying it's not going to happen tomorrow. And this is a good post because it's really being realistic about not only expectations, but using whatever he's looking at the MACD. It's looking like whatever happens tomorrow is not, it's not going to be the end all. It's only going to be like the tip of the iceberg. So based on historic behavior and forward forecasting of the MACD, I'm predicting the histogram will only pick up notably enough to assume a squeeze base of sorts, not a plateau, just a checkpoint. When the price reaches $300 to $400, okay. Wow, squeeze base. When the price reaches 300, interesting. To put this into perspective, the base when the histogram spiked in January compared to the same MACD was 40 to 80. Wait a minute, what? Really? It was only 40 to 80. Let me open that again. I need to double check that. Okay, so he's saying when the when the price reaches 300 to 400, okay. The base when the histogram spiked was 40 to 80. This would confirm one of my favorite DDs right now. I saw in the God tier by user Kitros Reddit. If GameStop hits 800 before 226, we will trigger the mother of all short squeezes. Read up. Excuse me. So by the time we hit that base of sorts, that post stipulates that a domino of gamma squeezes will have triggered, which I personally see as a free ticket to $800. I can't help but think, why in all heck would you have a limit order set below that? Yeah, good point. Not you diamond hands reading this, though. carry on. I'll see you at 69,420. And there's a good argument that, okay, so let's say you bought a handful of shares. So let's just say you got 10 shares. You bought 10 shares of GameStop. It's not a lot, it's a reasonable amount at $200, $300. So that's about $2,000. Yeah, $2,000, $3,000. So I mean, why sell it short for only a few hundred or thousand when this $2,000, $3,000 investment could turn to millions? Like, why would you do that to yourself? Are you an idiot? Do you know what the lottery is? It's where you put in $1 and you get millions. But this isn't the This isn't the lottery. This is math. This is statistics. This is real. I mean, not that the lottery isn't real, but the chances of that happening is very, very slim. But this is something else. It's math. Like I said, it's kind of like science, proven science. So, couple things. A common misconception that came up in the discussion thread that I feel I should add, and is probably also mentioned in that post. Contracts themselves don't have to expire necessarily to even spark the gamma squeezes in succession. We don't need with the options expiring. That doesn't have to happen. So why it happens, the gamma squeezes, it's often a result of so many long contracts being bought that brokers, sometimes contract writers, and even contract holders writing covered calls are buying shares to hedge. A lot of people are saying it's unhedged shares being bought at expiration by brokers. That does positively affect price, but isn't the whole shtick. I would argue that it isn't a gamma squeeze at all. Extra volume on contracts is gravy for us, smooth brain shareholders. The last thing that came up in the discussion, I want to toss in, I've heard all over the thread, it can only happen if shorts play by the rules. So, my opinion on this, honestly, would you get a speeding ticket and then pass the cop who just gave you the speeding ticket at 150 miles per hour? I know hedge funds and Citadel break 10 financial laws every day before breakfast, but remember, the public eye is on them. If they had any aces up their sleeve, they wouldn't have lost control, and they already did in the first place. It gapped up from $45 to 200 after hours in less than 3 hours. So I think Congress was pretty aggressive, and there's already a second hearing date with the SEC present. Citadel has a terrible track record. Do I think they're going to keep doing shady stuff? Yeah. Illegal stuff? Probably. At this point, I don't, though. I don't see that affecting the squeeze whatsoever. I see sore losers running out of steam. And to boot, Robinhood has way less credibility than they did 4 weeks ago. A lot of people left. Don't take your skeptical glasses off by any means, but I truly believe that this time shorts won't be able to snuff it out because Robinhood literally became the broker equivalent of Enron overnight. Yeah, that's a great point. And lost all their privileges to screw us over when they lost over half of their customer base. And you don't think Robinhood cares? They just lost half their half their income. They lost it. They lost the trust of the people. No one's going to deal with them anymore. I don't deal with them. And if I had the choice, I would never, ever deal with Robinhood. Even if they gave me $1 million, I wouldn't. They're just so morally corrupt. Too long didn't read. The squeeze won't have truly started at $200, $300, probably to $800. Moving average helps, convergence and divergence helps investors understand when the stock starts going from neo to burr and from burr to neo to a certain degree of accuracy, and is in fact still relevant to GameStop, even though it's detached from fundamentals. which I don't even agree with, not only because Cohen is a mad lad, but because we do have fundamentals in a squeeze play just because the play itself is a squeeze. Such as true SI percentage estimates with XRT and other ETFs, short ladder attacks, suppressing inevitable reversion to the mean, and the ever so shrinking float. Too long didn't read, but too long didn't read. If any of you believe is going to 10K, and I believe that, I don't think we should be sounding alarms like Melvin. Citadel's headquarters are on fire until we're at least pushing $1,000. Take it with a grain of salt. I just like the stock, really like the stock. Short term volatility is greatest at turning points and diminishes as a trend becomes established. Interesting. Edit typos. Okay, edit some stuff. I'm tired. Who's still up? You shouldn't use MACD to look for an exit point. Maybe you can in conjunction with other indicators and fundamental points. If you look at the January spike in the picture, you see the MACD line twitches right once or twice. That's shorts kicking it down only when they can, till eventually a panic happened. Not really panic, they just doubled down, but it did keep upwards despite that blip or two. Just use it as affirmation or confirmation that the squeeze still has lots of squoze left in it. Too long didn't read again. If you act on MACD alone and react to everything that looks like it could be a convergence or divergence on this indicator, you're probably maybe some sort going to get out early. I use the 3 month time frame because with my broker, probably the same with yours, every time frame past a month doesn't show sticks more precise than 1 day. So 6 months is the same 1 day sticks. 1 month, 1 day. Also the same MACD. It's just the best picture of the trend available. 1 minute cuts off the first spike. Last thing, because I guess it wasn't clear without checking, I'm positive 9 out of 10 indicators will be blown out of the water when the squeeze itself picks up full tilt. I'll personally be watching price almost exclusively and trying to snipe a limit in. If you aren't comfortable with an indicator, be warned. I'm still glad this info is out there. Thanks again. So that was a great post. Thank you for sharing that. Was the user. Thanks, man. I read none of this and absolutely agree. I read all of it. Uh, that was a great post and really puts into perspective. This is another level of autism as well by I am not a cat. No, a manologist. Okay. So thank you for that. And also for the graph, for the MACD. Makes me want to go to a MACD to have a Big Mac. But anyhow, yeah, what he said is wow. When the spike happened, he said it was around 40. Okay. So there's still a lot of room for it to go to the moon. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. That's all for this video. We have an interesting day ahead. We have an interesting week ahead and weeks ahead. Like I said, the stock market crash, it's not a question 2021 for it to happen. It's a question when is it going to happen? And in all likelihood, it's looking like when it happens, the media is going to blame Wall Street Bets, everyone that bought and supported GameStop and AMC. They're going to blame us for the crash when the reality is that's the furthest thing from the truth. It wasn't us. It was simply a market that was bullish for 13 years, overly positive, and it hit a wall. So many companies are overvalued, and the GDP is not reflecting the value of these companies. It's the Buffett indicator that is one of the best signs of this looming stock market crash. We're going to see a reversal, a correction, and that will be reflected in the Dow Jones, in the NASDAQ. I didn't talk about the NASDAQ, but Just looking at the NASDAQ composite, we can see in the last 5 years, it did dip in March earlier last year, March 2018, 20, it went down to 6,800. So once you see the NASDAQ dip to less than 7,000, you know it's on, you know it's starting. And we can see it go, I could see it definitely going back to not just that level of 7,000, but even below that to below 6,000, the NASDAQ. And I think at most it'll probably go at the lowest to 2,000. So that's how you know the dip, or not the dip, the crash has been completed. The stock market crash will be done around uh, once it reaches below uh, 6,000, and might even end up going below that. But I think 6,000 is pretty safe, and then you start buying from that point and just keep buying and watching. A little here, a little there. Just let it drop to perhaps 5,000, then 4,000, and it'll start slowing down. And then from there, it will surge again. Might take some months and years, but the thing is, even if you're stuck, like let's say for instance, you didn't prepare, you didn't take any of your money out, and you're completely invested, 100% of your assets are in the stock market. The most important thing is don't give up. Don't give up, um, because the market always recovers after a crash and to greater heights than before. So the only thing you'd have to do is to find a way to support yourself that doesn't rely on the stock market, and just wait it out till the crash, till the recovery happens. That might take a few months to years, and just don't don't worry about it. It'll come back, but you're going to be waiting. So that's why I say in my previous video, please watch it regarding the stock market crash in 2021. To set aside 50% of your money. So cash out 50% before this happens, so that when the time comes, you'll be ready to make your moves and plan and buy the safest stocks that I mentioned in my other video. I also mentioned the plan of how you would end up investing back into the stock market at the various levels of dips. So, what do you do at 25% when it dips 25%, and then 50%, and so on, if it goes to uh, that level of dropping? So, again, thank you very much for your time. It's been a long video, but it's been such a great day for GameStop, and we have so much more information and knowledge about the reality of the squeeze, the science behind it, a lot of different viewpoints. But the consensus is that this is happening. It's not a matter of, just like the crash, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's a matter of when. But people selling and trying to day trade the stock, they're only hurting themselves, and they're limiting the potential, the potency, just how potent this squeeze will be, the maximum potential. They're limiting that. It's going to happen, but they're only shooting themselves in the foot and everyone else in the community. So the best thing to do is just buy more shares at a good entry point. It looks like tomorrow is going to dip to 100 or less. So pick up some more shares at either $100 or less than that. If it drops below that, I don't know if it will, but 100, 110 is pretty good level. Personally, I'm looking at 90 to 100. And from that point, when that squeeze happens, your $100 or whatever price you bought it at is going to turn to, it's going to multiply tenfold into thousands, and possibly a hundredfold into the 10,000s. So again, this is Apex Investor. I'm here at a very crucial time. I didn't think this would happen. That I'm just going to be honest with you. I didn't think that GameStop would surge the way it did in the last 2 days so suddenly, because again, it didn't like gradually go up. It just boom out of nowhere from 45.50 to just right at the close of the trading hour at 3 p.m. On, that was Tuesday, wasn't it? Or was it Wednesday? Today was Thursday, so it was Wednesday. Okay, apes, is Ape X Investor. Thank you again for your time. Good luck to all. And we'll talk to you, well, maybe if not tomorrow, talk to you on the weekend. This is Apex Investor signing out.